Hello everyone, this is Mike Lisewski from Poznań, Poland. It's 3 p.m. in Europe, 2 p.m. in London, and 9 a.m. in New York. And together with Alister, Sneddon, and Andrea, Cosentino, we will be discussing the matters of seed investing, Series A investing, and what are the factors that are mostly attractive from the perspective of investors willing to invest their funds in startups. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. I think that would be very, very helpful if you could tell a few words about yourselves, by yourselves. So who would like to start?
Thank you, Mike. I'll take this, Alister. Yes, if that's fine. So my name is Andrea Cosentino. I've been working with startups for the past probably 10 to 15 years. I ran my first one when I was 16, so kind of had some knowledge in the space. I specialize in fintech very much, but also open to other industries as well. And this is what I've been doing for the last 10 years. I run a small VC startup consultancy, and I like to see new ideas and work with entrepreneurs and founders to help them grow in their business.
All right then, Alister.
Yeah, so my name is Alister Sneddon. I just go by Al. So my background is I've been very much involved in the product and sort of technical side of startups, trying to raise money from investors and going through that journey of trying to pitch and engage with them. I've been doing some fantastic work with Andrea as well, helping on the VC side and speaking to founders and getting to be on the other side of the fence for once and being critical to them rather than receiving it all the time.
All right then. Thank you very much for this. I think it's worth mentioning that quite recently you gentlemen synced together. I mean, you teamed up and you're working on something. If you could put a little bit of light on what you're doing currently together.
Andrea, feel free.
Oh, so myself and Alister have been collaborating. We met because of a startup actually, which I think is a very nice story. And it was in the fintech space. Then we kind of split paths for a while. Then me one day calling him up again. I was like, hey, Alister, I have this project. It's like, about working with startups, is helping them growing, kind of consulting, but also trying to finance them. And that's when I got his interest, I guess, because he was coming from a very specific area, and then he was like, okay, I would love to get more involved on that side. And honestly, it's one of the smartest people I met in my journey. So I was like, I definitely want to do something together. And that's when we joined forces with him and other people as well, and we started kind of scaling what we were doing at Ligas Ventures and growing the business. Right now we have plans to shift to more impact focused investing, which is something that maybe I'll leave more space Alister to describe. But yeah, this is what we've been doing, this is what we is in the plans. Let's see what happens next.
Yeah, and as Andrea says, we actually met through a startup where he was one of the investors, became on board. I still remember the event where I met Andrea for the first time, after doing our pitch, coming up and asking me more questions about details. And for me, this was my first exposure to really meeting different angel investors and different types of investors and the different needs that they all have, and trying to understand it from a business perspective of you're not just selling a product, you're actually trying to raise funds for people who want to be successful as the company grows. Maybe not necessarily so much about the product itself, so it's a bit of a different mindset for me. But as Andrea says, he said, hey, doing this stuff with Likas Ventures, we want to scale up, we're already doing a lot of this consultancy work and we want to actually take it to the next level. And
words, and I will reverse engineering actually. So don't ask what the investor, what you can make for the investor, ask him what the investor can make for you. Like, that was this country in the famous slogan. Now, I think what you have to keep in mind when you know, as a founder, I'm taking the founder's perspective, right? A lot of people go like, okay, I just want money and I want to grow my business, which is kind of fine, right? If you're very driven, but you really don't go anywhere by yourself. It's always a team play anyway, whichever is your internal team or like the people you cooperate or work with outside your company. Now, my point being, when you get investments, when you're looking for investment and you go do your pitch, right? First of all, it's not hard to get access to a lot of investors. Like, there are plenty of VCs out there, net worth people with money. There is a lot of like cash right now out there because there is a lot of hunger for yields and returns. So that's not the problem. It's more like, what can this person, other than money, bring to you? And this is something that I don't see happening very often because a lot of people go like, okay, this is a very prestigious fund. It's going to look well, which is fine. But especially if you're on the seed stage, you're at the beginning. Like, it's not good enough because you want and you need, for example, access to a network, access to like an ecosystem that is going to help you grow other than the money. Because you can have the money, but then if you don't know how to spend this money and you don't actually do something that is worth for your company in the medium long term, it's not going to be sustainable, right? And that's why you also have to understand what is the business of funds and which fund are you trying to reach out to, because having access to, like, I don't know, I'm just going to make a very extreme example, okay? But let's say I want to have access to BlackRock, right? A very large asset manager or anything. Yeah, cool. Probably is going to give you like a lot of money. But is that what you need at this stage? No, not really. You might want to go for someone much smaller, but actually can bring not only money but expertise, advice, connection in a specific silo. So I think this is the first analysis that as a founder, when I go fundraising, I would do. I'm like, okay, who can actually help me in a specific space? Which kind of expertise they can give me? It's like signing up for something and getting additional perks, you know? I don't know if you agree, Alister, or you have a different point.
I think you've hit it really on the head there, where I'd summarize it as it's about enablement. So they should be enabling you. And is what you need on day one, is that enablement purely financial, or is it beyond that? So at some point in the company's life cycle, enablement is simply, we need more money because we've got a system that works really well and we want to scale it up. And that's when we start talking about your Series A, your much bigger rounds, where it's, I just need cash for the fuel burner to keep piling it in because it works, we're scaling, we're growing. But enablement when you're much smaller, having a lot of money day one sometimes can be a bit of an issue. It can be a bit of a shock to suddenly go from, we've barely paid ourselves anything and now suddenly I've got £1 million in the bank. What do I do with this? That's almost the point it can go wrong. But it is about that enablement, about, do you have connections? Do you have expertise? Do you have credibility? That's another really important thing, is aligning with an investor that represents you well, and that you can then say to other investors, other people, and anyone even looking at your company as a customer, these are the kind of large institutions or well-known individuals, the credible aspect behind it. They believe in me, they back me. It's almost that stamp of approval to say that, well, I have this person as an investor, and they only invest in the best green products, the best innovative battery solutions. By having them on board, regardless of the financial aspect, suddenly you have access to credibility, you have their network, their knowledge, their expertise, even their branding in some cases. So for me, it is very much about, what do you need to enable your business at that point? And that's what a good investor should also be asking the founders is, why do you want me as an investor? Is it you just want my money, or do you want me for my skills, my abilities? So kind of find that mutual respect for one another. It's very easy for an investor to be disruptive if they're trying to take control in areas that the founders don't want that kind of enablement or that kind of access there. So it is about that a member, I love this idea, so I'm just going to take it over and make it my own? Or are they saying, I trust you as an individual to run this, I trust you with my money, give me updates at whatever sort of ritual that you want? That is so important to understand that they end up owning the business.
Fair point. I do agree with that. I think, it is very much about flexibility, like a flexible approach as an investor as well, and be open to listen. That's one of the reasons why, like, a lot of investors, they're like technical questions they have. What is your exit strategy, right? So, first of all, I need to understand what you're trying to do here. Are you trying to just make money? Like, are you trying to build a family business? Are you trying to, like, do enterprise and then you see what happens? So that's a very, very good point to make sure, it's like in a relationship. What do you want out of this relationship? And you don't things there straight away, and then, if the one is to get married or just, hang out and whatever happens, happens. And it's kind of the same. And that's one side of it. The other side of it is the flexibility from both parties to hear each other and also to adapt. Because, companies go through cycles and like business grows, goes to a steady stage, maturity stage, and so on. Now, the same person that is very good at C stage might not be good on a more mature way. On the other hand, the same person that at C stage is going to be just like passive, just investing and watching. He might have such expertise that when the company scales up, he's going to be able to help the company grow. So you go back to my previous point, being get to know the people you're working with, because, as Alister said, like, is their money they're going to be in the company, they're going to have a piece of the company, they're going to have ownership of the company. So investors that are not close by, but you don't have access to your PC. Maybe you're doing entrepreneurship like part-time, right? So it's not easy. Now virtually is actually an opportunity for everyone to get in the face of a lot of people. Now the thing is, that's step one. So it doesn't really matter the entry point, to be honest with you. It can be cold emailing if it works for you. Never seen anyone working for that, but it might be. But then once you get the knowledge, once you get the relationship, like nurture this relationship, that's why I don't understand. Give yourself time. Take some time to work together on something. There is no like binding, or it's just like can even be an event, like something where you see how the other person works, how the other person thinks, what is their expertise, and then based on that you can make an informed decision on who you want to work with.
Yeah, I want to echo the point you made before where you're comparing investors to, it's like a relationship. It is a relationship. It is something that you have to work on, discover and figure out about what kinds of people and why are you in this relationship together? Why are you investing together? I agree on the cold emailing. I think when you're dealing with the much larger VCs, a lot of them say, this is an email address, send it in. They get 50 emails every week with different pitch decks. They're churn through it occasionally. They might have a form they fill in and stuff. And even if you try them directly, a lot of them will say, I've got this online portal, you deal with those guys. If it's any good, you kind of rise up. With those much larger institutions, you kind of need that introduction. I think that's where having some really good investors in the early days that enable you can really help with those introductions, because it's not random company in my inbox has shown up with another pitch deck that I've seen 50 this week. It's just another one. Suddenly it's, XYZ that I've heard of before, I've co-invested with them, I've done another startup with them, they have access to me. When they send me an email, I listen to those emails, I read those ones. So something that can be really useful for how do you actually meet these investors is look at companies that are similar to yours and look at who's invested in them. People who make it public who they're investing and who they're involved with, they want you to know that. So you can look at that and say, well, I see you're on the board of this company and I love what they do and I love your skill set and I'm doing something really similar. I want to tell you about it. Can we have a conversation? And it's still a cold lead, but it's a little bit warmer because you've taken the time to kind of, instead of just blasting everyone with an email, you've picked a smaller subset. It doesn't have to be tiny, it still can be a lot of people. You will have to spend a lot of time doing this, but it's a bit more personal. It's a bit more hand-picked. It also makes them feel, as an investor, it makes me feel special when someone approaches me saying, well, I've sought you out. I haven't just randomly done a filter and said, everyone in here I want to contact. You actually know a little. I'm willing to give you a bit of time because you've clearly put some in as well. So that's always a nice way to kind of start it. And the other beautiful thing about that is investors know investors. It's a very small community. So even when it doesn't work out, ask for referrals, talk to them, because they may know someone else. They may have another connection, another network. I think that's a really underutilized aspect is investors do know other investors.
Transfer credibility is something that it's key, especially at the beginning. Opens you a lot of doors, and that's what makes you close deal. And honestly, like fundraising is nothing but a sales process, right? Like fundraising is literally like you're selling something, you're selling your idea, you're asking for money in exchange. Difference is that then you give equity, but still, it's like, and if you want to sell and you're selling something that is very expensive, you go to Sotheby's, right? You don't go to the shop or to Gumtree, which is an e-commerce website here in England, right? So you need to be mindful the way you do it, because also like you wanna just do it right and don't waste too much resources and time on that. Also, this is a cost for you. Time is money, literally, right? So 1 hour with the right person is much more valuable than 1 hour cold
if you don't have the skill set, do you know where to go for the skill set? Do you know what you're missing? Do you know what you have? And are you playing to your strengths? It's no good someone turning up and saying, well, we can do everything, because then it's quite easy to look at that and say, well, I can pick this apart and say that you can't. It's very easy for me to prove that, and now you're in a position where I've basically called you a liar. No one wants to be in that position. The relationship's going to be tough. Versus I'm really, really strong at networking and building products. This is my background. I've worked for these companies where I've done something successful, where I was involved in this stage, and this is what I bring to the table, and here's the gaps I have. And that's why I'm raising money, because I want to fill these gaps, because then I'm going to have this full picture. So straight away I feel like, okay, they understand the business strategy because they've identified gaps. They've understood how they're spending money because they're telling me up front why they want this money and how they're going to be using it by bringing it back to those gaps part of this business plan. It's demonstrating focus. As a startup, you can do anything. You can literally do anything you want. That's unattractive as an investor because doing anything is very broad. It could be successful, it might not. You're not a large organization. You can't afford to make too many big bets and mistakes. You need to almost focus down and say, well, this is the bet I'm doing right now. This is my focus. Here's how I'm going to be successful by doing just this. So it demonstrates that kind of alignment within them as a team, that they understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, and they can evidence that back to me. I guess the final thing I'm really looking for is, why do they want to talk to me? Why have they come all this way to say that I want to speak to you in particular? Why me? Why are you talking to me? Is there something about us together that makes it special? Is there something I can offer you? And are you willing to be upfront about that? Is it a case of you want credibility? Is it a case of you want a connection? What is it? Because it might actually be a case of you've misunderstood what I can offer. And then that can be quite a nice ending of, actually, I can't give you that if you're after this particular enablement. I don't focus in that area. I've had a great conversation and I like what you're about. I might know someone who does help in that enablement area. So then I'll be quite happy to make an introduction and say, oh, I've spoken to this exciting company. I can't help them, but it seemed like a good proposition. So I'm willing to then pass on a referral. So yeah, for me, it's all about that team, that focus, and that open honesty about why you're talking to me and what you're really trying to achieve. What is your game plan for why you want to be a founder?
I completely got everything that you said. I'm just gonna add on top of what you said is one comment. In 2021, literally everything can be built. Like literally, everyone has amazing ideas that they're really good. There is one differentiator, which is execution drive. The drive of the person, I have to perceive that he or she or them, they're doing it for I'm not gonna say the right reasons, because right reasons is very subjective. Profit could be a right reason, right? But it's more like they have the right drive to follow through. And that's one. And then an indicator of that is how organized are you, how much of a clear plan you have, so how you gonna execute what you say you're gonna do. So as they like to say here, it's like, I'll tell you what I'm gonna tell you, I'm telling you what I told you, right? And then you literally follow through that, and there is a clear plan. Now, how do you assess if someone is reliable in execution? Because truth is, when you go to a pitch competition, you literally need these people for 5 minutes. They might be very good public speakers, they might be very good, presenting themselves, which is a good indicator already, because again, the role of a startup is to sell at the end of the day, right? To investors at the beginning is very much selling. Even though we make it a game of development and engineering, the main challenge is selling. So you need to make sure that you work with people that are able to sell first their idea, first themselves, then they will be able to sell the product outside as well. That's number one. But then that's when the networking bit comes in. You can't judge straight away. So to me, the way they present themselves, the way the business idea makes sense, the investments. Involvement can come in many shapes and forms. It can be like, actually, you know what, I'm not going to invest in you, but if you need an advisory for your board or like something like that, or you just want to be friends and I help you whenever I can, because I really like the product and the idea, but maybe I just don't have money or anything right now, it's still a good way, right? So yeah, I think these are the main things. Like, it's very much, and I just to mention like financials, like at seed stage financials are literally stardust because no one really knows, right? And everything is forecast, and most of them are peer based. So yeah, you try to compare it with what the other companies are doing, but after all, companies are made of people. People are all different. So same company with the same Facebook, that if it was myself and Mark Zuckerberg on the same day coming up with the same idea, we would have probably had two completely different destinies because we're different people. And maybe, you know, I'm a slacker and I'm like, you know what, I don't want to work 70 hours per week or anything, and actually he's working 24/7. Or maybe he just knows the right people and I don't, right? So that makes a lot of a difference, I think.
Speaking about the difference, because you know every startup is, let's say, investing in a startup is always a little bit associated with gambling, right? Because it may be successful, it might be unsuccessful, it might be basically burning a stock of money. But according to you, as a potential founder, applying for your investment, shall I talk or shall I present in my, let's say, PowerPoint presentation how I would like to change the world, or rather about the profit that I'm about to turn? What's more important?
You go first or I go first?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I like this one a lot, actually. This is a really good question because you should prepare both, in my mind. But depending who you talk to, changes why you're talking to them. So there are some businesses that quite squarely fall into one of those buckets. Is this a product that is changing the world, is a very emotive product, and you're going to make a real difference? If you have a very, very powerful story, that is a fantastic thing to lead with, and you will attract investors who believe in that story. If you have a product that can scale, or it's got excellent margins and it's got a niche in the market, something that is just 100%, we will make money doing this. It takes time, but there will be clear profit at the end of this. Here is a very clear and prescriptive exit strategy. Both are very attractive, and I've ended up being dragged into both buckets, where there's been certain businesses where it's a case of, this is what we do, and I say, well, okay, that's great, but there's a lot of money to be had there. Who's going to turn up their nose at that? That sounds like a great idea, and you can deliver that. Flip side of that, this is an idea, I'm not sure it's going to put millions in your pocket, but we're really going to make a difference in the world. This is going to change something.